Luke.
Hey everybody, here's our star.
Gary.
I'd never heard of him before today.
And Matt.
He's a professional.
Talking telly.
Try it, just for 1 week. Just try the program for 1 week.
This is the Custard TV Podcast.
It's that time of year again when we look back at 2016. It was a crap year for the world, but it was a good year for TV. So that is what we'll focus on, not the horrendous
Well,
deaths.
Luke, was it really? Was it?
Well, I'd say that. How this worked was...
Passable year for telly.
No, it was better than 2015, I think.
Do you think?
I think so,
I don't know.
because...
Well, what we did... I know you were going to say this, but I'll just steal your line.
Oh, I wanted to say it.
What we did was we each put together a top 10, and when Luke sent me... Because I've formulated it all, we finished into a top 12, because 12 is divisible by 3. That's why.
We know that. We're not all teachers, and yet we know that.
When Luke sent me his list, he said, I really struggled to do a top 10. You said the first 5 were really easy, and then you struggled to think of another 5. Yeah. So is it saying that TV, there wasn't as much excellent TV, but there was more good?
When TV was good, it was better than what we had in 2015.
I'll reveal ahead of time that this year, the top 3 are the only 3 shows that we all had in our lists.
And I reckon I already know what they are.
Okay, well, we'll get to them. Fact fans. What we're going to do is we're running through our top 12, and they're only going to be UK shows. But in the middle, we're going to pause and do our honourable non-UK mentions. Or, as I think we've dubbed it, Gary Goes Global.
Yeah.
Oh, what sort of music do we need for that? I haven't got a global theme.
What about Around the World by Daft Punk?
I can do you one better. I raise you around the world by...
No, come on. Lisa Stansfield, I've been around the world.
E17 around the world, or Oasis.
Oasis. No, I still think Daft Punk's better. Well, Daft Punk's more jingly, isn't it? If you want just a jingle. I'm going to throw to various members of the podcast. They don't know what I'm going to throw at them.
It's like Whose Line?
And we'll start at...
Did you say it's like Newsnight?
No, Whose Line is it anyway?
I thought you said Newsnight.
First off then, number 12. And it is... me and Luke both had this on our list, but Luke had it a little bit higher. It's Louis Theroux's documentaries, A Different Brain, and Drinking...
Well, see, now, hold on a minute. I was told drama.
No, you weren't.
I didn't think we could put... Oh. All right.
When have we ever made it drama?
No, you're right. In my head,
we had the Murder Detectives last year.
You had Inside the Commons on your list last year.
Did I? Oh, okay, fine. Then just me. Well, but this was very good, so I agree. I concur.
Joe, my fellow Guys and Dolls enthusiast, was in crisis. Having relapsed and been kicked out of his flat, he'd been going in and out of A&E in a chaotic state, demanding and then rejecting the staff's help.
Why have you come out here? To get a cigarette?
Yeah, just to have a fag.
Tom. How are you doing, Joe? Do you remember me?
Oh, Louis.
How's it going?
Hello.
How's it going?
Not well, obviously.
You're looking like you're a bit fragile. Had a few drinks?
Yeah.
You went on a bit of a bender from what I can hear.
Yeah. Really bad, eh?
You okay?
Yeah.
What have you been drinking?
Vodka.
I'm sorry to be this way.
You were doing really well when we saw you.
I wasn't I? But I don't want it. I just don't want it. I don't want it at all.
What don't you want?
To be a drunk.
How are you feeling?
Withdrawing very heavily.
What does it feel like?
Like I'm dying as a person.
Still in the apartment because they're coming to minor investigation.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was that triggered you to
It was my ex. She wouldn't talk to me.
Your girlfriend?
The most beautiful girl I've ever seen.
Do you want some Lucozade?
I thought I was recovering, Louis.
Well, you were recovering. You recover again. You can get back on track.
No, I can't. I think this is endgame.
No, it's not endgame. You were, what, 4 years sober?
You must hate me.
Well, no, that's... No. What's strange to say?
Do you like me?
Of course I like you.
But I'm a pain in the arse.
Not at all.
I know you're not a medic, but, like, I just want to go and get a bottle of vodka. I'll drink it down the road.
Do you remember they're detoxing you? So
yeah, I do know that.
So for you to go...
Like 250 mils of vodka.
I would stay, Joe, I really would.
No, I'm heading off.
I wouldn't go, Joe, honestly. Where is it that you're keen to get to?
I just want to basically buy a bottle of vodka and go to, I don't know, Ruskin Park or something.
What, and drink the vodka?
Yeah,
Why?
drink the vodka and sleep there.
Why?
It feels easier than staying here.
Joe, should we just wait for the medical...
No, don't you run off. Okay, so he's basically gone to get more alcohol. We want to offer detox to patients who are going to engage and stay and really want it. And I'm not convinced that he's in that place at the moment.
It's also this weird thing of when you're around him, somehow you get sucked into this vortex of wanting to help, but also not wanting to kind of mother him. You know what I mean?
He's looking somewhere for support and to be looked after, and it's tricky. So now I have to decide whether we need to call the police to try and get him back in. I need to go and speak to the team about that.
Okay. We've always championed Louis through. Me particularly, I've always loved his work. But I think the reason these stood out was they were the first two he'd ever done set in the UK. Normally he travels to the US, points his camera at the zaniness of America and watches what unfolds. Here, he seemed to show a different side of himself. I don't know whether it was because he was on home turf and he was speaking to people he could easily relate to, but specifically the Drinking to the Oblivion documentary. And we've all seen a lot of documentaries over the years about alcoholism and the disastrous effects it can have on people and their families. But I think what was so compelling about that one was that Louis really felt connected to the subjects he was talking to. Although he's always good at ingratiating people in and having them on his side, you could tell he really felt for the young gentleman who was really just at the end of his time, wasn't he? He was in a hospital every night and then left to get a drink, and Louis was trying so hard.
Gary's favourite corner shop.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, as you say, it was that desperation in Louis' voice of like, do you really think this is the best? You know, it's really, really playing on him very hard.
For me, it felt like he'd forgotten that he was doing I don't know how true it was, but it felt like he was not aware that he was on telly then. He was just desperate that this person
forgot the camera.
Yeah, and again, in the different brain, he seemed to speak up.
Yeah, I would say that was the one I preferred, I think, because it was more sort of eye-opening, I would say, like these people who'd had brain damage and stuff like that. As you say, we've seen a lot of stuff about alcoholism and things before, but this
the brain damage one as well, because normally in these programs, there's like, you know, Louis works with people and you're meant to be sympathetic towards them, obviously. It was very hard in the brain damage one because these people because of the brain damage, weren't rational, were emotionally, and one of them just didn't want to be with her husband that she'd had children with and things like that. And it was harder, that one, I think, probably more hard hitting, but just harder to relate to.
And also there was a great moment where Louis is talking to the mother of a young man with a brain injury, and he's being quite aggressive towards her. And Louis actually, again, in a moment of confidence, says, you can't talk like that to your mum. She's distraught. And he just seemed to feel a sense of confidence that I don't think I've seen.
He stepped in more, didn't he? He felt more, like with the couple I remember in The Different Brain as well, the wife who'd had the brain damage and was completely different towards her sons and things like that. And
I don't know whether it was just a more chatty relationship rather than a interview and interviewee situation.
Yeah.
Because he's often looking at the American people in the more zany documentaries that he used to do with our sort of eyes and thinking, aren't they a bit nuts and a bit crazy? And of course, when you're doing subject matters like that, it's a completely different thing. And he got really sympathetic and really drawn into their lives.
Earl pulled in front of an ambulance and clipped the curb, lost control of the car. The car went across the road. He ended up going down on the tram lines and it wrapped round the tramline pole.
Am I right in thinking he was going too fast?
Yes, I'm made to believe he was doing about 50. And he'd only been driving 2.5 weeks as well, himself. So I thought you're doing all the right things, but obviously sometimes you're not.
You think there's something that you could have done that might have averted it?
Yes.
In what way?
Not bought him the car. It's that simple.
I on the camera talking shit. You can see you on camera crying like Ray. I'd like feel sorry for you.
And this is what he does all the time, the way.
Well, what do you think his mum gonna think when she sees it suddenly?
I'm not crying about that. It's he asked me a question.
Crying, our son's dead.
Oh, you're leaping to all kinds of conclusions about what Patricia's been saying. She hasn't done anything embarrassing.
I'm going back tonight. I don't want to stay here, Mum. I actually don't want to stay here. Can't go for the bullshit no more. Get the man to take me back. I'm not staying here.
Did you just lose at FIFA? Is that what happened? Did you come in here because you just lost at FIFA?
No, because
Did you just lose? Tell me honestly.
No, because,
So you came in here in a mood and took it out on your mum?
Yeah.
Maybe you want to say sorry to your mum.
What for?
For coming in here and making her feel bad.
I don't make her feel bad. Sorry, Mum.
His documentaries are always enjoyable, but these two were standout.
Okay, number 11 is the start of a Gary double bill.
Oh!
Hey! Hello, ladies.
Possibly the biggest surprise I think we've had this year is Gary's newfound love for Cool the Midwife, which comes in at number 11.
And I think my main misgiving was Miranda. If I'm honest, I'm gonna be honest. And also, I think I'd seen one Christmas special where my parents had dragged me to watch it because I was at home. But I was just surprised this year about the level of storytelling, the way in which they went with certain stories, and how good the characters and the writing were. For something that I dismissed as kind of, I don't know, I probably dismissed it as early evening BBC
nuns
fodder.
On bikes and things like that.
Yeah.
I think because it's on Sundays as well, and as you said, because it had Miranda, who's sort of a comedy actress, and it had Pam Ferris, who you associate with Darling Buds of May and things like Where the Heart Is. You see it as, this is a cosy thing, you've got all these bikes, it's set in the past. But it deals with a lot of issues, and specifically issues around women at the time and how they were sort of seen as second-class citizens. It is a very female-heavy cast, both the central cast and the supporting cast, obviously.
But one of the episodes,
and Minty.
One of the episodes that I loved was when Minty tried to run the haberdashery store.
Yeah, I mean they do have
because
those...
it was so stupid, but it was great. It was great.
They do have those comedy storylines and there's the romance and stuff, but at the same time you had that formaldehyde. The drug.
Yes, the drug. That
that was the sort of through storyline, wasn't it? And you had Liz White, who was excellent as the mother whose baby was born with the.
And also